Hey comic book fans, I'm John Andersen and I just watched episode 15 of Legends of Tomorrow and it was pretty damn good. Now I know what you're thinking, John, why haven't you made any Legends of Tomorrow videos lately? And two things. One, Thursday nights have been a little tough on me, hard to put out videos. And two, to be honest, I wasn't really into this season. I felt like every episode was hit or miss. And to be honest, I think it's probably better than Arrow at this point, but I'll hold out my thoughts on that until the season finales of every show. But why not get back into it now? So, as always, guys, if you guys haven't seen the episode, keep in mind I'm going to be going through key plot points from the episode. So here is your spoiler warning. And there it goes. Now the episode starts with this recruitment speech that Rip gave at the beginning of the season, and it was beat for beat the same scene. I was like, why are we going back to this? And it turns out that at the end of the speech is when Jax returns to 2016 from the previous episode, which I thought was really clever. And speaking of last episode, we learned that the Time Masters have been working with Vandal Savage this whole time because they believe he's going to be the savior of the human race further in the future than Rip foreseen. In order to break Rip down, the Time Masters don't torture him, but instead show him this device called the Oculus, which the Time Masters have been using to manipulate time, which is an element I really like about time travel, because I figure if time travel were real, there'd be a predetermined notion to that. But of course, that takes away the right of free will, especially for our characters. Also during this time, the Time Masters are trying to turn Mick back into Kronos, which ends up going mute because he uses his will to save the team as a way to stop the mind control. And it's nice to see that Mick's character has developed so much throughout the season and actually has a heart somewhere deep down. Next up is hands down my favorite part of the episode when Sarah and Snark have to save the rest of the team, and we see them putting bombs on the Time Masters' time ships, and I assume they're just going to blow them all up when they try to escape, but it turns out that they just put a virus in these bombs, and that causes the ships to break down, and a song plays, which I don't remember the name of the song, but it was just really funny. And I also thought it was really clever. Instead of jumping to a specific point in time, they just jumped to the present in order to save the team. Again, my favorite sequence from the episode. Now our team is reunited except for Jax, who's still stuck in 2016, and Kendra, who's been kidnapped by Vandal Savage. However, the team's still been reinvigorated and they decide that they want to destroy this Oculus so that way they have free will. But apparently Jax has mastered time travel and shows up just at the nick of time to save everybody, which I thought was a little convenient, but if you're going to get him to come back at some point, why not do it in a very dramatic fashion? And it turns out that the Oculus has a failsafe. In order to be destroyed, somebody has to stay behind, which Rip had foreseen and informs Ray that this is how he dies. And Ray, being the true hero that he is, wants to stay behind and save everybody. But Mick isn't going to let that happen and decides he wants to be the hero and stay behind. Again, showing how the character has grown from a stupid criminal to a hero. But Snark and Sarah aren't going to let Mick stay behind, so it turns out that Snark is the one that stays behind. And I was really upset about this because Snark was my favorite character, hands down on this show, and they killed him off. But at least he dies as a hero and gets a nice kiss in with Sarah, which is a relationship that I would have loved to see this whole season instead of Ray and Kendra, honestly. So it seems our team only has one mission left, and it's obviously the thing they've been trying to do all season, and that's kill Vandal Savage. So that's my thoughts on episode 15. If you guys like this video, be sure to share and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook at John Ryan Andersen or on Instagram and Twitter at The Comic Look. And remember guys, as always, comics do deserve